Rav Wolbe writes 40 years ago or 50 years ago. He said, you have to understand the dart changed. He said it used to be that you gave Musar to even an older kid and they accepted it and they backed down and they apologized. Remember when we were kids? You got a look from your father, right? That was it. You came to the Shabbos table and you got a look. What did you do? You froze, first thing. You took inventory. What did I just do now? Am I holding something? Chapped what you just did. Slowly backed away from the table, out of the room, and hoped that you didn't get your head bashed in. Pretty much now, the kid comes in, you give him a look. You try all the looks in the world, the kid looks at you and says, Tate, what's wrong with your face? It doesn't work. What do you mean what's wrong with it? You just did something that you're not supposed to do. You just brought in the Mishpacha magazine to the table. You just sat on it. What do you mean? Think about what you just did. Maybe that's why I'm looking at you. It doesn't work. Said the Shlomo Wolbe 40 or 50 years ago. Today, yesh mashahu ba'avira shel merida. There's something in the air of merida that when you hit, you patch, even a little kid, a 2-year-old, he lifts up his hand to hit you back. The world changed. That's a fact. The sensitivity, we're going through an emotional holocaust. Everybody's sensitivity. So many people are on medication. And Baruch Hashem, the Eibishter created medication because we need it. After the Holocaust, there were no nerve endings. There was no emotions. If they had emotions, they would die. We have the emotions and a lot of pain. In the 1980s, the 1990s, Muslim Deruv could testify. What did anybody see coming in the future? Growing up in America, Torah was exploding. Yeah, we thought there'll be too much Gashmias. What will be the problem in America? People having too much of a good time. Too much money, too much Gashmias. Did anybody think we're going to have so much pain? Yiddish families burying children? Hundreds a year? Hundreds of Yiddish families? Meetings for bereaved, is that the word? Parents that bury their children to overdose and to suicide. That's a Maisa B'chol Yom. Anybody dreamed that we're going to have psych wards and boot camps and Utah and full of Yiddish kinderlich that are drugs? Drugs are for Goyim. Drugs? Nobody saw coming. And around the corner of 2000, right around the bend, started coming this magefa that was first the fringe. We thought it's poor families, weird families, dysfunctional families, and now we see the nicest. Look at the families by me. The nicest families. And now we know, unfortunately, it's usually sexual abuse and trauma and pain. And we know the sugya today is pain. So much pain. I always say, I'm looking for this Russia already for 20 years. I can't find this Russia who just has no pain and just likes cheeseburgers. I want to meet this guy. I'm just giving him such a hug. So happy to meet somebody that doesn't want to die. I keep on finding Rishoyim, yeah? And by the time you get to know them and you peel away the exterior, I find kids who were molested and kids who have diagnosis and kids who want to die. A friend of mine, one of my dear Kip friends who I know for 15 years, he told me today, every day he wants to die. One of those that's not frum, and yet you could write a sefer on him, on his not frumkeit, like the Gedolim. I could tell you stories. Many Gedolim know him. I'll just give you an example. He came to my house for Shabbos. In the middle of the meal, he had a panic attack. He tried to kill himself already 7 times. He had a panic anxiety attack. He went ahead, he took his keys and his cigarettes, and he said, I'm sorry, I have to go, and he left. After Shabbos, he tells me, so I'm driving on Ocean Parkway, calming myself down not to kill myself, and took medicine and smoking cigarettes. And it's Shabbos Nuchmittag, Shabbos in the afternoon. So I'm in my car. What do I listen to? So I listen to Shiurei Torah. He listened to 3-4 hours of Shiurim. I'll leave it to the Oila, I'll leave it to the Bezen Shomala to figure out what they want to do with him. This is an Avarian, this is a Russia, this is the biggest tzaddik in the world. My father got sick, he needs a big refuah, he's in a coma for 4 years. 4 years ago, this tzaddik, who's full of tattoos and full of pain, and not frum, he was makabel on himself as chus refuah for my father, to stop shaving with a razor, only to use a shaver. I don't know what a razor is, but most of the world who uses it for a reason. Makabel. Then he knew somebody else, a woman that's in a coma. So he started to put on tefillin for her. And then there was a boy, Nebuch, a young boy, 10-year-old boy that was diagnosed with the anamachla. He started putting on tzitzis. I told him, you just need 610 sick people more. You're going to be fully shay b'torah mitzvahs. Fazich line for himself, he can't do it because he's just too much pain. And believe me, if you go through his pain, you'll kill yourself. The amount of pain that he's in. And yet, fayanim, to put on tzitzis fayanim, this is someone who's gleibnish. This is someone who goes to the Rebbe's Tzion at least once or twice a month, goes to the Lubavitcher Rebbe's Tzion once or twice a month, and every day wants to die. He told me yesterday, I meet with him all the time, he said what he wants on his Tzion, Saval Yusurim Harbe Kol Yomov. And this is the one that people are going to stone. This is the Ben Sayer Umayr that we have to yell at. And this is the story of our dar, whether you see it or not. You see the tattoos? That's pain. Something happened between the bris, between the kiddush, and now. You see it, it's all pain, and the Eibishter knows that. Ikvus the Mashiach, what do we want? We want Mashiach. What got us into this is sinas chinam. We could have the nicest kailim, we could have the most muhuder esroigim, but if we don't have a havas chinam, then we're never going to get out of here. And the Eibishter, I'm sure of it in my bones. What do I know? But I see that he gave this dar an opportunity that never existed before. Never existed before, that you could have a havas chinam. I love you for no reason. Just because you are a Jew, my brother, my sister, my cousin, my neighbor. A havas chinam, period. No agenda. Is the only opposite of sinas chinam. Not even because I want you to put on tefillin. I just love you, a havas chinam.